Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lerner back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, we'll be talking about Jupiter conjunct the Ascendant in the natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in the natal chart. They were a little bit concise, and some people may have referred to them as snappy, so what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is, if you have Jupiter conjunct the Ascendant in a natal chart, well, there may be a tremendous amount of enthusiasm and exuberance, which is Jupiter in new beginnings, which is the Ascendant. Now, thing is, let's say if you have your Ascendant in Taurus, okay, new beginnings, may be done with a lot of persistence, patience, and perseverance. They may be tied in with something Taurus related, which can include geology, carpet laying, archaeology, agriculture, gardening, cultivation, banking, finance, art, or music as some examples. Now, another thing too about this aspect is that you may expend a tremendous amount of energy and vitality, which is the Ascendant, in expanding horizons, which is Jupiter. Now, if Jupiter is in Capricorn, as an example, expanding horizons may be done with a lot of seriousness, structure, discipline, consistency, but at the same time, could be doing something, Capricorn related, which can include architecture, construction, information technology, dentistry, accounting, masonry, carpentry, business, politics, or some government work, as some examples. Now, also, too, this aspect can simply give an exorbitant amount of vitality and energy, which is the Ascendant, because Jupiter can enlarge, matters. Now, the thing about, this is, if you have, again, using, let's say, the Ascendant as in Taurus as an example, there may be, a lot of latent energy behind one's powers of endurance, but that can even be expanded. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you may want to confer this on the internet to make sure, but I think MMA, and also boxer Conor McGregor has Jupiter conjunct his Ascendant. He has, conjunct his Taurus Ascendant, and I'm sure he has a pretty good amount of energy. And it could also, Jupiter conjunct the Ascendant can also be about, having, some interest in sports as well, I would say, maybe tied in with new beginnings. Now, another thing about, Jupiter conjunct the Ascendant in the natal chart is that there may also be a propensity, for weight gain, which is Jupiter. Jupiter is connected with obesity. So if you have this aspect, it's important to, to make sure, just to be careful, regarding, the food, you're assimilating and how much you're putting in, more, especially with this aspect compared to most others. Now, another thing, and is, let's say if you have your Ascendant in a more, like you could say, a heavier sign, a sign which inclines toward heaviness, such as, Cancer or Pisces or Sagittarius, you need to be even more exceptionally careful, I would say. Now, another thing about Jupiter conjunct the Ascendant in the natal chart, it could also enlarge, the attributes and characteristics of the Ascendant. Let's say if Gemini is the Ascendant, the qualities connected with Gemini rising can be, ones that's mercurial, loquacious, adaptable, versatile, dexterous, even mischievous, but it can, I would say, enlarge those qualities and maybe even make them stand out more than, if you have this aspect. Now, also, too, there may be physical related issues, which is the Ascendant, associated with the liver, the thighs, the pancreas, and sciatic nerve, which is Jupiter. Now, let's say, if the conjunction, say, is in Aquarius, those issues may be a little bit more intermittent, sporadic, erratic. They may be more nerve-related, as some examples, or as an example. Now, another thing, too, is that you may come across to others, which is the ascendant, and the ascendant, of course, is the first impression that one may give on others. And you may do so as being optimistic, exuberant, enthusiastic, expansive, and jovial, which is Jupiter. Now, even if you have, your ascendant, say, in a more serious sign, such as Capricorn, which is, I would say, unequivocally the most serious of all the signs, this could still modify, that input, that nature. A person can be, more jovial, more jocular on a first impression than the typical Capricorn ascendant. Now, another thing, too, you may also be extremely enthusiastic and optimistic, which is Jupiter, in matters pertaining, to the physical body and the appearance, which is the ascendant. Now, the ascendant is in Sagittarius. The physical body may be one that's athletic, but also can be a little bit heavy. Libra rising can give, an attractive, appearance, even features. If you have, say, Aries rising. If Aries is the ascendant, there may be a wiry, muscular build, and you may be, more, optimistic, even in developing muscle. As an example, in really staying in shape. Aries, rising tends to expend a lot of energy and is very active. And I would say Aries could, rising can often be, really interested in, staying in shape. Aries is ruled by Mars, which is about physical strength, energy, and vitality. And, the thing about this too, this aspect, is that your environment, which is the ascendant, may be one in which you may really be enamored with the outdoors and things that are sports related, which is Jupiter. Now, if Jupiter is in Aquarius, as an example, sports related things, interests may be ones that are unorthodox or unusual sports, such as like underwater hockey or chess boxing. I think those two exist, but you may want to confer that on the internet. Jupiter and Taurus can be more about the sports that are done in a more methodical manner that require endurance. It could be weightlifting or long distance running. As an example, Jupiter and Aries could be more interested in the combative sports, which can include, judo, wrestling, boxing. Then you have, or even the volatile sports, which would include football and hockey as some examples. Now, also to in-laws and foreigners, which is Jupiter, they figure prominently, in new endeavors you may embark on, in your outlook on life, which is the ascendant. Taurus ascendant can have a very down-to-earth outlook on life. If you have, say, Pisces ascendant, that could be an outlook that's very idealistic, about trying to, see the best in others and circumstances, trying to overlook, the negative on people and things, transgressions as some examples. Now, also, too, a grandparent in those that are prominent in your early childhood, which is the ascendant. Maybe people that are philosophical, jocular, jovial, blunt, expansive, and religious, which is, Jupiter. At least that may be how you, perceive them. Also, too, I wanted to add that, Jupiter conjunct the ascendant, can, enlarge issues, with the physical body in general. Keep in mind that, conjunctions are neutral, and Jupiter can, be very paradoxical, could be very strongly benign and benevolent. but also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. So depending on your ascendant, it may enlarge issues, with matters connected with your physical body with your ascendant. Now, say if your ascendant, for example, is in Leo, it could enlarge, issues with the heart, the spine, or the upper back, as an example. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Leonard saying stay well.